Get it, let's get it. F the culture. Brought to you by Poeticlee, right here on Life is Poetic TV, and that's Poeticlee. And that F, as I say into every show, into every intro, the F can sound a little daunting to some. Now that F may sound liberating to many, as that F should be activating who you are and what you're doing in your community, for yourself, and within this realm of time that we're discovering all together at once. And that F can be freeing your mind. That F can be forwarding the agendas that help us as people to continue to evolve. That F can be fucking up the systems that are no longer standing to our morals, that are standing to our principles, and is standing to who we are and representing who we are as, for what I can speak for, Americans. And I think it's important to tap in with Americans. As a melanated man from the South, I think the world wants to hear from us in so many different ways and so many different capacities, as we are influencing the world in so many different ways, and taking ownership of that, and taking accountability of that, and taking notice and awareness and true just wherewithal about who we are as people, what we've been entitled to exist amongst us, you know, in all facets. I'm talking about for everybody, and how we've been pushed. When they talk about the American dream, and we think about the American dream, the land of opportunities, and these things that sound so nice, but really are fluffed up on manipulation, really are fluffed up on greed, really have been fluffed up to violence and stealing people, stealing lives to build those dreams. But to build those dreams for who? To make this land an opportunity for who? It's time now we accept the responsibility that we all have to move as one. It's time now we accept the responsibility that we all have to now really tap in with each other. And that's what I want to talk about in this episode. I want to talk about, you know, and that's why I say F the culture, because what culture? What culture is there really when everybody's out for themselves? What culture is there really when we can't really even work with we can't even work as a family? So how can we expand that to say, oh, we got to help, oh, we have to help all our same people that look the same color as us? No, we can't. We're playing ourselves in our face. We're lying to ourselves. And one of the things I want to begin to let my voice and let my heart and let my frequency reach out through the channels is to begin to tap into the actions that we can do as people, right? We can't assume that everybody's to know what to do. We can't assume that everybody has the force and the will in the environment. We can't assume that. I can't assume what I've been exposed to. Everybody, all the other brothers have been exposed to, and know how to form, how to get information, and because it's time to get information. It's time to get information. How are we getting information with our mindset? How are we getting information with our heart, so that we can be prepared for where this world is going? Because if we're not moving as one, we're moving as individuals being moved by something. Are we aware of what that something is? And that's sustaining with a culture, working together. What is working together? And I come with my notes, you know. I love to write my notes for these shows because it helps me get my mindset, because we have to be strategic in our thought process. You know, as I think about this culture and I think about the word culture, it's something about how you work together. It speaks to the atmosphere, it speaks to the language, it speaks to how people understand how you move, the movement of that organism, right? The movement of that heartbeat. And are we an organism of people that actually know how to work together and communicate, and actually not make it so transactional, right? Because those are the things that I can tell you really isn't helping the culture, is looking at how transactional each relationship can be, instead of what could work for the culture is making sure our relationships are resourceful, making sure our relationships are something that, hey, are beneficial for all, and not just one person trying to greed off the other, because you know, piss on people and tell them it's raining, dangling and you know, a bait that's to never be got. That's not how we move, you know. The trust factor that we have in our culture. When I think about, because I want to also speak on this show, F the culture, right here on YouTube, wherever you may be listening. Check poetically.com. I also want to to speak through a historical lens. When I think about Tulsa's Black Wall Street in the 1920s, right? Just another thriving example of collaboration between black entrepreneurs, educators, community leaders that built a self-sustaining economy. A self-sustaining, that's just one example. You have Wilmington, you have all these other examples throughout the United States that we're definitely going to talk to and we're going to speak about, because it's within those lenses to understand this has been done. It's through those lenses to understand that we have a blueprint. It's through those lenses to understand this is in our DNA. That's why I say for melanated people to be proud as Americans, and that's why I want to speak about being proud as American, because sure, we come from many different lands, but one land that we built, one land that we feed, one land that we fuel, one land that we are the source of is America. And that's just what it is. Our melanated energy provides the trends on social media. Our melanated energy provides your favorite sports player. Our melanated energy provides the music that you're going to listen to, the production that you're going to listen to. It provides that. It's not dismissing anybody else. It's just saying that I'm speaking to my people and saying we can be proud in who we are, and I'm letting others know don't be afraid of us because we are fueling you. Don't be afraid of us. We built this. Don't be afraid of us. No. Welcome us. Welcome each other with open arms. Let's listen to each other. Let's build this. When I think of, again, talk about Tulsa, but it's hard, right? Again, to bridge the gap because of our trust factor. What we've endured as people of color, and how you can burn down a Tulsa. Because you don't like, you're jealous. You're jealous of what we're building. You think you're going to be taken over. Right? The competitive mindset. And even that's bled into our communities now, where how do we even find ways and find healthy ways of working together? How do we find healthy ways of working together just because you do the same thing? It's the competitive mindset, the competitive spirit is a beautiful thing. I think it brings out the best, right? When you're running, as they say, when you're performing with other high performers, it can bring out a high performer inside of you because of what you're experiencing, what you're exposed to, what's the channeling energy that's moving through. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and I think we should prioritize. We should really put that as a priority within our community. Is a collective success. When I think about the artists, when I think about the art world, and again, not just making it transactional. Sure, transactions help. How can you support your local artists? By being able to buy their art, by being able to support their music, buy a ticket to their show. Sure, but even it's not even always just about the financial aspect either, right? Again, we're on social media age. Are you reposting just to now be performative? Because we can talk about that performative look of collaboration, especially in this age of social media, where it really helps your look. It really helps your brand if you look like you're supporting certain movements, certain trends, certain people, certain brands. But are you really following up? Are you really messaging them? Are you really showing up and saying, hey, I really want to help you over here. I really want to see how to push this towards my audience. Or are you just supporting it because it makes you look good too? Right? A heart thing. Heart to heart. Because when you try to play these mind games within the culture and think you can get ahead of people and try to think you can eliminate this person, eliminate that person, you're creating karma for yourself, and you're creating a pathway that sure you may have some short-term success. Let's speak to it. Because we're seeing that within our quote-unquote culture a lot. And this will be a conversation that'll be divided in parts because it's several parts to hit to it. A lot of I'm gonna hit on the historical lens, follow me, and I'm gonna go into our current era now, and how we've allowed that poison of envy, we've allowed that poison of hate to come through us now, to come through us as people now. So now when you see somebody doing good, it's how can I do better than them? Sure, it's good to be inspired as people. Sure, as creatives, it's good to have that that flame ignited of, okay, I see what they're doing. I wanna be, I wanna do is just, you wanna do it better. That's fine. But does that carry into your spirit where now you don't want to help that person? You can still do it. You can still collaborate in competitive spirit. Let's speak to that as creatives and businesses. There's things you can put on an event together, right? So I want to talk about actionary things. When I think about us as people, and I think about this culture, and I think about reshaping it, I'm not going to just talk about it, but I also want to invite ideas and invite actions and invite ways that we can move together as people. You may put into the chat, you may put into the comments, say, hey Lee, I see a way we can do this over here. As a poet in my community, doing R&B and poetry, doing the different shows that we do, I'm not gonna sit back and say I see this other poet doing an event, I'm not gonna reach out, oh no, we're gonna compete head to head. No, I want to support. Yeah, okay, we may, see, we may, if it's that type of energy, it don't have to be. But if it's that type of energy where it's like, okay, hey, we're gonna joke and see who get the better crowd, but we can still do things together. Or it may just be a thing of, hey, where it's not even about who get the better crowd. It's more about, hey, I see what you're doing. I love how you're cultivating that community. You love how I cultivate my community. And we may say, hey, we may support each other digitally, let people share each other to our audiences if we happen to have the event on the same night. Or if we don't, we may see how we can collaborate together to bridge that so that it can become stronger. Because I have something, obviously, especially when you talk about competition, right? You obviously had the same audience somewhere. If otherwise, it wouldn't be competition. And when we talk about working together, we have to understand that the audience, the person that's going to you, their loyalty is to their need. So when you think about our cooperative business models, their loyalty is to the need. So when we think about even businesses competing against each other, how many businesses need to really compete against each other within the culture that can really come together and create businesses or create entities where it actually serves a bigger crowd and actually can make more revenue and more profit for you, and not have to make it such a struggle and challenge for you as a single entrepreneur, a single business, when you cultivate energy and cultivate with other businesses as well. It's just one way to look at it. It's just one way to think about, groups pulling together resources to create businesses owned and operated by the community. You think about food co-ops where members share profits. That's something I thought of here. We had here in Winston-Salem one time. Shout out to Humans Nonprofit. I love what Victoria does with that situation and being able to how we were able to collaborate and have hygiene products for those in need of, right? That was cool. It wasn't a situation where I had to be like, I'm doing my own event or I'll do my own hygiene products. No, reach out into your community. Reach out and see who's doing what in your community, how you all can work together. Working together, the synergy of unity matters because there's going to be something that somebody can do for you. It's all about a network. And there's going to be something that you can do for somebody else. It's about your service and showing up and serving the community. And, again, thinking about artists and I think about music. Kendrick Lamar just dropped, right? And one of the things that made me think about that is thinking about his label, TDE, the independent label, Top Dog Entertainment. And I think about TDE and I think about Dreamville, right? And I think about these, even if you want to throw in Young Money, we can do all that, right? But really I want to think about like TDE and think about artists working together. You listen to that Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, you listen to Ab-Soul and their stories of when they're with Top Dog and how they're staying in his house and they're working on their craft, they're pulling together energy. Kendrick says, yo, if J-Rock, when you made it, I feel like we made it. And that's the energy we have as people, as artists, especially as artists. I could tell you from just my experience, the competition we face a lot in our community is just the insecurities and intimidation we have amongst ourselves. It's the trust that we don't have in ourselves and the confidence that we lack in ourselves to know that we're really meant to be where we are. We think we're not meant there. We think that we still have to fight, and we have to survive to get to where we are. We're taking that same survival instinct and mindset that's been programmed on us as people because we had to survive. Right? So let's face it for what it is. We had to survive, though now we get to thrive. Though now it's time to thrive as proud Americans. Though now it's time to thrive as creative beings and realize we don't have to always compete amongst each other. Though we can cooperate, we can collaborate. And it takes being able to have patience. No, everything's not meant for everybody. Every project, every collaboration isn't meant. It's about having discernment. It's about knowing what's aligned and what matches your vision, what matches your budget, what matches your schedule, what matches your boundaries. What matches that? And then taking that and allowing that to represent you and represent the vision that you have, because ultimately your audience wants to connect to a network. Everybody's audience wants to connect to a network. That network speaks to their language of what's existing for them and how you're providing that existence, that atmosphere. If it's built off hate, what's that going to do for you? You can do more when you connect. Because ultimately, when it's built off hate, you may have short-term success because it's the energy that feeds off a dopamine high that honestly you can't live off of. You can't. You got to connect at some point. You're going to connect with somebody at some point. So why not collaborate with energy that can really help us move forward? Break the noise and reclaim our truth. And our truth is that if we say this is the American dream, if we say that this is the land of opportunities, let's be real about that and let's make it make sense. Starting with yourself. So, think about your own skills. Think about your own resources. How can you contribute to something bigger than yourself? And that's it. That's it. Start with thinking about those around you, your friends doing something, and how do we offer our small tasks? It could be a little something. You start the flame within yourself and it grows. It happens. Don't belittle yourself. Don't say, oh, I'm not doing that for somebody because I'm big enough. I should be working for the big brand. Well, you gotta start somewhere. Start somewhere. And you never know where that journey may go. You never know what battery that could put in your friend's back. You never know what that battery that could put into the person, your partner's back, by just saying, we got this, let's do this. And it now may open up a confidence within you both that takes the culture somewhere. It takes you somewhere. It takes your generations and legacy somewhere. So I want to say for us to celebrate our collective wins. I think about one more historical lens. I think about the Montgomery Bus Boycott in the late 50s. A prime example of trust, organization, and collective action. A prime example of trust, organization, and collective action. Our community members, the melanated black community members in Montgomery, Alabama, sustaining a year-long boycott, pooling resources like carpooling, walking, and making the movement work. Showing unity even when times of sacrifice. Showing unity in times of sacrifice, and showing unity in times where it's not about the money output. It's not about the social output, but it's about the legacy. It's about the endurance of how I'm going to be respected, my principles, my values, my integrity as a person output in reflection back. Sustaining the culture is more than just supporting it. It's about building it together. Collaboration isn't just nice to have, right? It's not nice to just have it. It's the foundation of progress. It's truly the foundation of progress, collaboration, listening to each other, and having the grace and having the mindset to say, hey, I can see your potential. Either you're activating it or you're not, and you need time for yourself. Maybe this aligns for you over here, or I see your potential and I know you can bring better out of me and I can bring better out of you, and we can bring better out of this community. How are we going to do it? Let's do it. So that's why we say F the culture, because we're freeing it We're forwarding it, and we're fucking up the system, breaking the noise, and reclaiming the truth as Americans. And I'm proud to be an American, melanated American. My ancestors, hey, they put a lot on the line for this country. They built this country, so I'm not ashamed of it, and neither should you be. All right. So next time, tune in with me right here on YouTube. Poetically, life is poetic. F the culture.